Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, TCAT. Good morning, AJ. Good to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're back to, I'll do this and just sit up here. Fuck. It's this whole thing. Early mornings. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I try to start the live stream shortly before my son gets on the bus. And then I let you guys know. Gives everybody a chance to show up. Good to see everybody this morning. Got a lot of stories to cover. I'm wore the fuck out. As some of you know, I had a little stomach bug the beginning of this week. I missed a day of work. I missed 2 days of work, actually. And I had to bust my ass to make up for it all so that by the time winter break hits, I'm not falling behind. Because we've recently had all kinds of issues around here, bill wise. So while we're on the subject, I'd like to thank everybody. Many of your donations to the channel go to help other group members and boost different petitions. And hello, Kai. Hello, Ban All Dogs. I am okay. I have not been hit by a not so smooth mutt. No, that's not going to happen. They might get hit by me. Let's see. I was trying to think of any personal dog stories from this week, but I don't necessarily have any other than constantly running into dog turds everywhere. I'm about tired of that. Fortunately for me, I live in the desert, so you can see them. But is it fair that I have to stare at the ground everywhere I walk? Good morning, Asher. Good morning, Sam. I thank you. Yeah, I noticed. I sound a lot better. I'm a little rough though, and it's Arizona, so it's finally cold. And I had to break down and buy a heater. I've got one heater in my living room, one in my dining room. They're not up in the rooms, so I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna break down and do this. Okay, fucking. So here we are. I've got some older stories to cover. I've had help from Alasade, Moni Tony, T Cat, Christian. Chef sent me a comedy routine, which for all of you, any comedy you can send me helps tremendously. Beanie Girl is on vacation with her family. Good morning, Vox. Even though you're not here, I see you on my phone. So it'll be Asher. Asher is our fucking moderator today. So congratulations and thank you, Asher. I've got a couple of videos to go over. So let's start. Let's go way back because I've got some stuff I keep missing and I need to get into that. So we got to go back. I got to get rid of a couple. Some of them I went over and was like, okay, these are way too long. This is dumb. This is like this one. I'd really like to cover this video. So what I'll do is I'll put it in the description. It's hey, good morning, Charles. It's an over 2 hour long video of discussing the dog cult. Okay, so great video. I skimmed through it, but it's over 2 hours long. I don't even plan for this live stream to be that long. So I kind of went through and pinpointed some times, and then I'm like, I've been working way too fucking much to do this. I really can't. So I'm doing what I can. Oh, let's see. What was this one? And just give me a second to get my bearings straight here. All right. Yeah, let's listen to this together. In fact, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull this up on the phone so I can share it with you guys. That's really been my go-to as I tried to figure out a whole bunch of stuff with my computers and phones. And as you guys know, I may be a lot of things. And I am no technology person. It's a whole thing. I really wish I had someone nearby that's really good with this shit that could sit down with me and help teach me this stuff, because I'm one of those kind of people. If I just see it, someone teaches me, I'm all over it. I've got it. But without that, I don't, so there it is. All right, let me pull you guys back up here and we'll watch this bitch together. Let me pause, turn up some volume, widen some screens, do some shit. We're doing it. All right. So, yeah, dog cult. In my previous days, or should I say year, I'm dealing with the most stupid dog owner known as prehistoric creature, and I call him prehistoric dumb. He thinks that a mutt can kill an elephant. Ah, geez. Oh, Glenn, good to see you. Been missing you, man. I'm glad you're here. So let's watch this.
A surprising statistic. Los Angeles leads the nation in dog attacks, not just mail carriers here. 5 to 9-year-olds are the top victims, according to this new study. So what is happening?
I'm shocked. They're preying on children?
What can you do to protect yourself and your family? NBC4's Gordon Tokamatsu live in Hollywood with new details. Gordon, are we talking about pets or strange dogs here?
Well, we're talking about both, Colleen. You know, we're ending up on some dubious distinction lists here on the West Coast when it comes to dog attacks. We recently learned that letter carriers are attacked more often here in the city of Los Angeles than they are in any other part of the nation. Well, now State Farm Insurance says we, in California, lead the nation when it comes to dog bite claims. It's a pretty big problem. We found one of the region's top dog bite experts, personal injury attorney Kenneth Phillips.
1,000 people a day go to emergency rooms in the U.S. because of dog bites.
He specializes in bite cases exclusively. Says here in L.A., he's handling literally hundreds of cases in any given year. Mail carriers recently cited L.A. as their worst location for dog bites. Phillips not surprised. He blames the popularity of pit bulls in Southern California in part. He cites nationwide stats to back it up.
12 out of 14 have been killed by pit bulls.
Phillips says owners should know if your dog bites someone who's not trespassing or taunting him, you are open to liability and possibly even criminal charges. Now, next month kicks off, or I should say next Monday kicks off National Dog Bite Prevention Week. Our dog experts say now is a good time to re-examine how you approach dogs out here on the street or even those that are on a leash. Reporting live from Hollywood, Gordon Tokamatsu, NBC4 News.
Oh, shit. That guy dancing in the background is cracking me up. Let's talk about California for a minute. California is a state where you are allowed to shoot a dog if it comes on your property. No questions asked, no legal liabilities. California is also a state that you are allowed to put poison out on your property. Okay? California has a lot, for being such an odd state with so many different laws, they allow that stuff. Good morning, Chef. So wonderful to see you. So yeah, California is awkward. And, I think a lot of that being, like they pointed out, you got the pitbulls, but this lawyer is dealing with so many cases, and that's just one lawyer in that area. Okay. And I believe he's in Orange County. So yeah, while you guys are talking about it, I'll bring this up. AJ made a video, great video, AJ. If you can try to put up the link here on the live chat. It usually allows you. Hey, A-Star, good morning. And if not, I'm going to put it up in the description anyways. He also started a Discord group that has been awesome. Yes, Urza's here. Hey, poison those damn mutts. And you can legally in California. I believe Urza's problem is, though, she has other critters around that she doesn't want to poison. So it's a complicated thing. There are specific poisons that only fuck up dogs. Okay? In Seattle, as Chef just said, in Washington as a whole, and I've made a joke with a friend of mine that lives up there, you can get in trouble for looking at a dog sideways. Chef also just made an interesting video where the man was bitten by his dog for trying to reprimand the dog for destroying his house, and he swatted it with his hands, and the dog bit him. And then after being bitten, I believe it probably escalated past swatting the dog. But I believe he has a right to defend himself. If this dog bites you, specifically, it's your own fucking dog, okay? You want to fuck up the dog, right? You're going to. It's the same thing I would do to a human that did that kind of shit to me. But no, this guy got arrested. Don't look or breathe near dogs. Yeah, if you seen me on IHD's live stream the other day, I just kept saying everything. And he's like, I totally agree with you, Ashley. And I'm like, agree with me? You get attacked. Look at something sideways, get attacked. Washington's real bad. Now, I've got a buddy who always hated dogs and ends up with a fucking dog. And I just was like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And he's like, I was lonely. And I'm like, yeah. And it was within weeks that he's like, I hate this fucking dog so much. Good morning, Box. Good to see you. And so here we are. He's still got the fucking dog. So moving on. All right. All right. So this is a letter that was sent to me. I'll keep them anonymous for now. I know this person's been busy. I've read a few of their letters. I titled the email as I sent it to myself to cover with you guys, called Dog Owners That Wake Up. Okay. In this movement, it's so important. People like myself that used to train dogs, people that have to live with them, people that used to like dogs, people that used to be dog lovers, when they wake up, it's so important. It tells you, number one, that what we're doing, it's possible. People hear IHD. I mean, people, I'm sure the rest of you that all follow him, of course, have seen people saying, well, I was always questionable and thinking about this and that. And then I found IHD and I'm like, wow, it's not just me. And then he makes all these points. And I've seen people that literally used to be dog lovers there and on this channel. So this young lady says, I don't know if these count, but I thought I would share dumb things dog owners do that I have experienced seeing a few of these in your videos. Told the husband the dog is not allowed to be with the dog and felt it was unfair for the dog to not be able to sleep in our bed. So he decided to sleep in the dog's bed with him. Note, as a wife that feels beyond insulting and hurts me. My mother's friend was out by our pool with us. My mom's previous dog had bit her in the ankle. I think it may have required a few stitches. It was not life-threatening, but it didn't look good either. She was rightfully upset and fearful of the dog. The dog did not face any repercussions, nothing. My mom gave excuses for the dog. I even remember her friend confused, like, is she really defending this dog? I don't think I ever saw her again after that. Understandably so. The dog breed? A Chihuahua. Note, can we also note every Chihuahua owner I've ever known, my mom included, thinks that when you touch the Chihuahua and it growls, like shown in this video she sends me, that it's cute, funny, and harmless. What is cute about this? It is scary as fuck, and they shake off the fact that it's scary because of their size, as it can't hurt a soul. If any bigger breed were doing that, most people would feel much differently. I say most because some people with bigger dogs do this as well, and it's super dumb. When I was a dumbass with a Malamute in the South, this was my favorite sentence out of the whole email. When I was a dumbass with a Malamute in the South, not only is she making fun of herself for owning a dog, but for having a dog that is meant for cold temperatures in the South. I am a changed woman now, LOL. I would take him to the dog park. I would see dog owners to one another arguing about how they don't like how certain dogs were when they were playing with their dog. They're worried about certain dogs hurting their dog at the same time and keep a close eye on their dog and others to make sure everything's okay. I even saw people with their dog that they felt was really good and well behaved go over and grab their dog to tell them, don't play like that. Then these same people will walk their dogs around the park, which is the same area as the children's playground, and tell parents it's okay for their dog to be pet, and look how sweet they are. Their dog's so kind and loving, blah, blah, blah. I will throw myself into this now. I cannot pretend I am perfect. When I had this Malamute during my undiagnosed bipolar time, the dog had bit our baby, pulling himself up with the dog. He turned back quickly, nipped, and then turned back. At this time, he was 2 years old. I was supervising the interaction, just to add, and sitting directly next to both of them. I think it's important to add that because they always say supervise the dog with kids, no matter how long the dog's been in your family. The dog reacted as quick as a snap of a finger. So think about that for a minute. As for my son, it felt like a ton of blood, and it was the bridge of his nose. I actually rushed out of the home, banging on a neighbor's door that I knew was a nurse. He thankfully did not need stitches, and my husband came home early from work to make the hour drive. I will be super candid and say that at that time, yes, I did know this dog needed to leave the house and not be near the baby because it was dangerous. I believed that the dog was a good dog. It was just a dog and didn't need to be in a home with children. I also blame myself for the dog's aggression and that I must not have worked hard enough on interactions with the two. The shelter we got him from after that wanted to give us resources before bringing him back so that we could work through it with the dog. Once again, I'm going to throw in, it's like listening to a domestic violence victim. And I'm so proud of this person for waking up, and not only for waking up, but candidly sharing their story. No holds barred. allowing themselves to look like what they called themselves, a dumbass that lived in the South. This is important. These kind of stories are important. Allowing this dog to keep its forever home and not give up on it so quickly. That is how a lot of shelters respond, as you said that they do in your videos. How they seem to give dogs every excuse and come up with a million reasons. I do know the dog was known as high risk or violent. You know that phrase. You've used it. It's a blank for me right now. I do believe that he was not put down or anything and they just rehomed him. All they did was quarantine him and check to see if rabies was the reason he attacked. And since it wasn't, there were no consequences. I hate myself for it, but I cried. I felt bad for the damn dog. I felt bad for bringing him back and returning him. And like I said, I'm so glad she's being candid. And part of this is the way they make you feel. I did not want to keep him by any means because my kids mean more to me. However, because of what I had been groomed over my lifetime to believe about dogs, I felt super sad and depressed in the situation for the dog and what our child was going through. I don't think it's normal to feel that way about an aggressive animal that attacked your kid. I, of course, once stable, do not think any of this at all, as I am level-headed these days. That's why I'd cried so hard waking up and learning how bad it can get so fast. I was once one of those idiots. I could have lost my son. It does hit close to home. I know it's easy to point out what we see from others, but it's important that people like me can admit that we've acted in ways we have seen others or heard others because we knew what it was like to be in that mindset. Our terrier mix. When he sees people, he would bark and growl. It's very sporadic. Pulling on the leash, pushing with all his might to get over there. It was so bad during a fire alarm at our apartment, I rushed out of the house with the baby and the dog. Our dog ripped the leash out of my hand and ran towards huge dogs and was biting them on the neck and trying to attack them. I pulled the dog away and told them I was sorry many times. I felt so bad. I didn't even have excuses for the dog. The large dog thankfully did not attack and create a bloodbath. The large dog was cowering and trying to get away. Now I wanted to get rid of the dog and had been pushing for it because of this and many other reasons. I got so much anxiety. Walking him put me into panic attacks. I was so worried that any walk could be the one he ends up seriously hurting someone and we were going to get sued. My husband thought Fluffy was so fucking cute and an angel, and he begged me to allow to do training for the dog first. Now the next thing, this dog thing, I did see a new light because of what I've learned from the community since. So she taught us to use this collar that grips the back of the neck just a little when we slightly pull on the collar to get his attention and make him stop. The trainer has us meet her at a small pet store filled with mostly food and tons of treats everywhere on display. Quickly, he began not barking at people because treats were being given to him left and right. He was happy and enjoying his time. He did not bark and was different than I had ever seen him. People were so open to this at the store, seeing a dog trainer and feeling it was a fun way to be involved because it was all a dog pet store and such. Remembering when you said how dogs are just in it for the food. They go and will be nice to anyone that's going to feed them. That's all the relationship is with dogs and humans. We get home and try this. Tell me how I'm supposed to get close to anyone, and how dare I have the audacity to ask everyone that comes near my home to throw him treats. Oh my God. When that did not work, we did anxiety medication. We also tried doggy hemp, just as dog training failed despite all the effort put in. Now when the dog is walked, not by me, when people are being barked at and growled at passing my husband, he shouts that he has anxiety. He's on medication. We're working on it. Sorry. Dumb dog people thing involving my dog and the last day that I walked him. We have a good visual on this dog by now, correct? Down floors from me is an old woman. She has a chihuahua and a cat. Their chihuahua is your typical growl, yap, yap, nonstop outside that dog owners think is so precious. Ah, Fluffy. So vicious. How cute. So this woman is walking and starts darting toward my dog and wanting to pet him. He looks like he's going to bite her face off and he's growling. I am yanking him back saying, I don't think this is a good idea. I can tell he's not wanting this. Sorry, maybe another time. He's growling. She's getting so close as I'm pulling him away. I felt like he was going so close to her face and feared what could have happened. She had no fear of him because she has a dog that does the same thing and assumes all dogs do that in that breed or are similar or safe. I did not want to be in a situation like that again, or it could get worse. I refused to walk with him after that. dumb things continued. Every time people see my fluffy dog on psychopath mode, they stop and talk in a baby voice to him and say things like, "Oh, aren't you so tough? Aren't you a cutie? Oh, Mr. Tough Guy," and weird things like that. Why do people do this? Number one, our dog has gotten away with this after training because of the anxiety medication he was put on and being told to give it time because it can take 6 to 8 months or a year to get the full effect. My husband stopped giving him meds after forgetting to the point that he was just off of them. I gave the responsibility from me to him because I had enough on my plate and it was his dog. All I got for now, but I had to share after getting through a good bit of your videos. Also now after typing this, taking a closer look at my marriage, remembering how I have felt with low self-esteem throughout it, always circulating to feeling like he loves the dog more than me. How he chooses the dog over my word and is constantly giving him excuses. Then gives those cheating boyfriend replies you hear jokes about online like, "What? You think I was staring at the waitress? She's so ugly and not my type." No, I'm not talking to my ex. I hate her. Why would you think that? It's the same defending of the dog when telling him why he doesn't cuddle with me and that the dog gets more love and affection from day one. He makes it seem like it's ridiculous to be jealous about a dog, like it's a bad thing to feel that way. So here I am. I've been in some toxic relationships with guys and dealt with these other girl situations, but never imagined it would be the same, but with a dog. It's just as bad, and I'm going to start recognizing it in the same way. Just because the same is happening with a dog, it would be like with a girl. Thank you for sharing. This kind, like I said, this kind of shit is really important. FF, good morning. Fuck Fluffy. Good morning, Kenny. And Christ X Star and Orc Wrench and everyone else I may have missed, you know. So yeah, interesting stuff, people. We're going to go on into something else. There is no link to this video. This is an email that was written. So I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about. So we're moving on. Alrighty. Here is an article from my kindred spirit in Tucson. I've got a fellow Arizonan. There's only a couple of Arizonan dog haters. I was always hoping to find some people closer. I've got one in Vegas, one over in California, and now I have two in Arizona, so this is great. PACC dog reunited with family after 3 years thanks to a microchip. This is in Tucson. After 3 long years, a Tucson dog found its way home. According to a post shared by Pima Animal Care Center Tuesday morning, this dog was reunited with its family. Shelters say the owner had not seen the dog in about 3 years, and during that time, she decided not to change her phone number with hopes she would be reunited with her dog. It's like hearing someone talk about a fucking boyfriend, and I wanted to follow up with that to further support what our anonymous emailer said. It's pretty obvious, okay? Yes, it was well written. She does some great emails. She found the channel and IHD as well as she was doing some research about being a dog hater and has been emailing me, and I'm so happy to have gotten her emails, man. I mean, she's a great person and I'm so proud of her. Okay. So here comes another story, and it's titled "Euthanizing It Is Not an Option." They don't talk about culling dogs. They again talk about how bad we need to make this work out. Domestic violence. Excuse me. Oh, I was getting over that stomach bug. I'm role playing it sarcastically. We need to train them better, give them more of our time, take them to a psychologist. It is a burden to have a dog, but we must have dogs. We must put 5 dogs in every household by 2026. But dogs seem to hate kids. So how should we make this work out? Challenge of the century. Getting rid of dogs is not an option. Blaming the dog is not an option. We must make this troublesome dogs and kids relationship work out, or we are doomed. There are just no other options. Take this dog, for example, mauled a kid, and we must reinsert it again in parks and playgrounds. How can we do this? There are just no other options. All right, so I'm going to stop this. We're going to watch the video together. And, oh, Moni kills me, man. I love the way he writes stuff. And I really appreciate it when people write shit. There's news articles, there's statistics, and then I just love you guys' emails. Okay, so
News at 6.
Right now, you're getting a first look at the 9-year-old girl who got attacked by a dog in Port Charlotte. That's her mom there, too. The girl, Mia, is on the right. She is seeing a trauma specialist in Tampa. Her mom, Alexis, is on the left. She also got hurt from that attack. She was trying to help her daughter. We first told you about the pit bull last night. The dog went after the 9-year-old Mia when she was just playing on a swing set in her own yard. New at 6, ABC7 just heard from the girl's dad about what happened and what he saw in the moments after the attack.
I had heard the screaming. I'd come outside straight from the shower and just shoot the dog off. After her and my wife were taken away in the ambulance, that's when it started hitting it more.
The 9-year-old has serious injuries to her neck, face, and legs. Animal control says there's a good chance the dog returns to the owner's house. It's not classified as dangerous, so euthanizing it is not an option. ABC7 gets you more tonight. The dad insisted it wasn't the breed of the dog, it was the dog itself. But anytime we report on a dog mauling, we get a big reaction on social media, especially about pit bulls. So tonight, we're getting you more on nature versus nurture and pit bulls. Here's ABC7's Amanda Lejeski. Look at our ABC7 Southwest Florida Facebook page in the comments under our post about this story. You can see people going back and forth over who to blame, if any. We took your questions and concerns to the experts for this ABC7 fact check.
How we're raised affects who we are, our DNA, our genetics. Oftentimes animals that have been neglected or mistreated, unfortunately, may act out.
Gary Willoughby is the executive director here at Gulf Coast Humane Society. He tells me the reason for dogs' behavior can be based off nature and nurture.
Trying to protect themselves, or they haven't had the best owners growing up. Oftentimes they may be a little bit more dangerous than other dogs that have had a good environment.
He says dogs like routine, whether that's house training or even when and what to eat. But that routine
is key to a successful partnership with you.
Every dog is different, which means their needs are also different.
When I had young dogs before, I would take them to puppy socialization classes. There are doggy daycare centers. Some dogs are perfectly fine just being on your couch with you. You don't ever want to see another dog or even another person besides you.
No matter what, any animal can be hard to predict.
Their behavior.
look, I played this for a couple reasons. One of those reasons being I was abused and had a troublesome childhood. Do you think that they're going to play this same bullshit if I go out and lash out and do something terrible to someone? Good morning, Anna and Kupak. No, I'm going to prison. Do you understand? These critters face no repercussions. And not only do they not face any repercussions, they are protected. They are protected, and they've got fleets of people standing up behind them. Ah! You know, it's unreal, okay? Exactly, Kenny. That's the problem, thinking a dog is human, you know? Yeah, but they make all the fucking mistakes they want, and they get a pass every single time. So, yeah, thank you for sending that. Okay, let me pull up this image. I have to find it. So you guys remember Rosie, the woman that had the she had a there was a GoFundMe for was passing it around trying to get a couple bucks her way. They were even asking for help, you know, from people in the area that could come by and just help, you know, help. She's had, I mean, you freaking name it, this woman's been threatened by these things. And it's just terrible, just awful. And so she has finally woke up in the hospital. She's doing a bit better. Here it is. And so everybody's talking about it here. And this is how she looks now. I'll zoom in. She looks way out of it. She's barely alive. Okay. This woman, she's a tough lady. She really is. And so she has pulled through all of this and is finally getting better. Oh boy. So what would the morning time be without...
everybody,
a little bit of zoophilia and bestiality, right? Would it be my channel if we didn't talk about something like that? Of course not. And it's something that has been definitely a point of
Because I haven't heard. What was your first experience?
Well, actually, it was kind of interesting. I was house sitting for somebody, watching their dog and their birds and their fish and stuff. I was maybe 10, 11 years old. I don't quite remember. So I went skinny dipping. And one day I bent over to test the water. You know how you do. Just bend over.
Yeah, it's nice to know how cold it is.
Yes, and, well, their dog kind of snuck up behind me and stuck his nose between my legs. Needless to say, I was a little bit surprised, but I was like, that feels good. But then he decided he wanted a little more, so he jumped on. And at that point, I learned what it was to lose your virginity. It scared me half to death. But then it kind of started feeling good, and I went,
Yeah.
But then again, the other scare that I had was, oh my God, I'm going to have puppies.
I think I was like 22 the first time that I had, allowed a dog to have sexual intercourse. So it kind of just grew from there.
Oh, yeah?
But, I had dog companions in between. I've always loved the feel of fur my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And my dog was always there as a good...
Rational Cleanliness really need to cover this video because he also has a theory about the fur. Okay? Brat! Disgraciato sent me this, so...
friend soaking up tears, whatever I was going through. And I don't know, I guess it was just one night. We were snuggling in bed and I was petting him and he just got very curious. And, there was more of an oral thing. And, I became kind of curious about him. So, to begin with, it was more of just curiosity.
So you lost your virginity to a human first?
To a human. I was like, 15 or 16. 15.
I was 21 when I lost my virginity.
It was before I was 16 because, I guess I was more curious sexually and more interested.
My problem was most of my boyfriends weren't interested in it, and I never could figure out why.
Lady, because you fuck dogs! Oh, I can't watch any more of it. There's only about a minute left anyways. Yeah, this is definitely... You own that documentary? Oh, fuck. Yeah, right? They don't make industrial cleaners strong enough to deal with these kinds of things. I try to put this shit in a little bit at a time so we don't end up doing a whole live stream about bestiality because, unfortunately, I could make a whole video about it. Ugh. We're trying to find, excuse me, someone that could infiltrate these people and go in and see how fucked they really are. And I don't blame anybody for not wanting. Who the fuck would want to do this shit? Okay. Okay, nope, not that one. We're skipping past this. It's fucking wild. Hey, Asher, good for you. You missed the bestiality shit. So, while we're on the subject, I already showed this before, but I want to show it again. I feel like it's really important for people to understand. So, whether you're religious or not, all of this shit is blasphemous. This shit is crazy. And I've got to show because it's fucking crazy. And so let me hop in and show you guys this. These are nativity scenes made up of fucking dogs. Okay? Oh, darn. More blasphemy. And that's even what I just labeled it as being more blasphemy. More blasphemy. Look at this shit. Then, of course, there was the one where they replaced the baby Jesus with the dog. These people are fucking disturbed. And like I said, between having sex with these things and placing them onto religious icons and shit like that, I can't. All right. Let's cover this article. I've been bypassing it for a minute, so it's about time to talk about it. If an ad pops up, I'm sorry. Some of these things. The world has a big stray dog problem. This is from a few years ago, but still. It doesn't happen in the way your preachy uncle suggests at Thanksgiving dinner. It happens off your radar and beyond your detection. Not many people know this, but I have rich family heritage in South America, and this year I was able to make a trip to my homeland and visit my family out of Santiago, Chile. They had a good time. I'm going to blaze through a little bit this, but here's what I learned on my trip. I was completely unaware of the luxuries that you enjoy as an American simply because my realm of experience hides me from the true depths of fortune. Okay? I came face to face with this realization in South America, where, like most places in the world, there is no money for animal control. Thousands of feral dogs run wild in the streets, attacking each other, eating human garbage, and carrying worrisome diseases, which I'm about to cover an article from Orkrench that she sent. Actually, several of you sent it to me. Orkrench sent it to me first. And they have to live with these effects. The feral dog problem is immense worldwide. For every 3 Americans on this planet, there are roughly 2 stray dogs, more than 200 million total. It's far too many dogs for American Olympians to rescue between competitions. It's probably never crossed your mind that one of the many privileges that comes from living in America is the convenience of not having to face packs of wild dogs on a daily basis. In America, dogs are highly regarded members of the family and often treated better than minority children in poor school districts. True. Personally, it was an odd phenomenon to see packs of wild dogs roaming around in Chile because my American brain saw them as pets. My instinct to approach them or pet them or try to give them water. Chileans, however, treat the dogs with the same indifference they display toward pigeons. This is not an accusation of wrongdoing, they add. I began to understand the disposition after one sneaky canine licked me across the mouth and face as I snapped a photo. He left a nightmarish smell and taste I would never forget. Overpopulation and attacks on humans are a difficulty, but the role played by stray dogs in the spread of rabies is the main concern. Although rabies was officially eradicated from the U.S. in 2006, it's still a serious problem in areas with limited vaccination and population control resources. 55,000 people dying from rabies each year, and the largest part of those deaths stem from infected dogs. Even though 12 million people are treated with pricey rabies vaccines yearly, it's not enough to keep up with the need. The effects of rabies on humans are both terrifying and fascinating. You do not want rabies. It begins with flu-like symptoms as it progresses to paranoia, terror, hallucinations, and delirium through aggressive attacks on your brain. If you're the type that needs a more vivid description, there's a Radio Lab recorded a haunting episode from 2013. There will be a link in this article. Rabies claims the lives of 99.99% of its human victims unless they get a very expensive vaccination immediately after exposure. And even though we aren't often touched by the problem in the U.S., the public is still vulnerable. Cities like Detroit and St. Louis are battling rising stray populations, while outdated import laws bring a large number of dogs from the rabies endemic areas to the U.S. pet trade. Okay, so then they go on with some links and some articles, and we're going to leave that be. All right. Yeah. That is what dog lobbyists want here, and you're not wrong. Uh-oh, I think Ban All Dogs is having a stroke. You okay over there, man? All right. I really, really, really need to cover this article that Orc sent me. Let me find it. There it is. You guys, hang tight. For those of you who have not heard about the Guinea Worm, this is something I've been talking to people about for years. This is a new article. It came out December 14th of 2021. If you don't know about the Guinea Worm, well, now you know. This fucker can grow up to 3 feet long. The Guinea Worm will go all around the body, and then eventually it exits the body, generally through the extremities, the legs, the arms, generally, not always. And it wreaks havoc on the body before it decides to leave the host and look for water to lay more eggs, and it has reached peak size. Brace yourselves and get ready. This debilitating human parasite of worms that grow up to 3 feet long in the body are being transmitted via dogs eating fish. And they're going to talk about this, but I'll brief you real quick. We actually had almost eradicated the Guinea worm, okay, like worldwide. And dogs are apparently causing it to not only come back with ferocity, but to spread like wildfire. Moving on. Guinea worm disease is usually caught by drinking water containing water fleas that carry the parasite's larvae. The The worms mate and grow inside the body, and after 10 to 14 months, the 1 meter long adult worm emerges, usually from the arms or legs, to shed its larvae back into the water. The parasite causes disability and trauma in some of the world's poorest communities, such as Chad, Ethiopia, Mali, and South Sudan. The parasite causes disability and trauma in some of the world's poorest, eradication programs have cut cases of guinea worm from millions a year in the 1980s to just 27 in 2020. Guinea worm would be only the second human disease to be eradicated after smallpox. Eradication programs have cut human cases of guinea worm, but just as eradication looked imminent, it has emerged that domestic dogs are also harboring the parasite. Targeted surveillance shows that in 2020, 93% of guinea worms detected worldwide were in dogs in Chad and Central Africa. Research by the University of Exeter, published today, December 14th of 2021, in Current Biology, has revealed a new pathway for transmission. Dogs eating fish that carry parasite larvae. And this means the dogs maintain the parasite's life cycle and humans can still catch the disease. The researchers worked for a year in several of the worst affected villages along the river Chari in Chad. They tracked hundreds of dogs with satellite tags to analyze movements and revealed dog diets throughout the year using forensic stable isotope analysis of dog whiskers. Much of the fish eaten by the dogs, usually guts or smaller fish, was being discarded by humans fishing on the river and in its lagoons. Professor Robbie McDonald of Exeter's Environmental and Sustainability Institute, who led the study, said, "Dogs are now the key impediment to eradicating this dreadful human disease. Our work shows that fisheries and the facilitation of dogs eating fish are likely contributing to the persistence of guinea worms in Chad. The challenge now is that this pathogen must be eliminated not only from people, but also from animals. Dogs, you meant dogs. This is a clear example of where a One Health approach to integrating health of people, animals, and the environment is required to eradicate this debilitating human disease." The work was sponsored by the Carter Center, founded by former President U.S. Jimmy Carter, and work in Chad was supported by the WHO and the Chad Ministry of Health. Okay, so like I said, I'll throw this in the description. Like always, what's up, Yusuf? As always, Orc. As always. Anna says, "Thank God it's early. I couldn't take this level of frustration later in the day." Like I said, hey, good morning, Seth. 5 p.m.'s been a rough service time around here, and I've had a lot of trouble. The live streams seem to start, but they just don't last long, and then it lags, and we get all these issues. So I was like, okay, until the holidays are over and some of the snowbirds leave. So I know this next year. I know that from, shortly before Thanksgiving on into around and after the first of the year, that we're going to have some issues. A couple people around town that have confirmed that with me. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just plug forward here. And let's do this. December 15th of 2021, State Police. New Colombia man threatened to kill woman and directed dog to attack troopers. So, they're using these things as weapons. And this isn't the first time we've seen this. We've seen this a lot, not to mention canine units that are used as weapons on people. Oh, you got to register a firearm that's not going to hurt anybody unless you decide to use it and hurt someone, right? But these dogs, you can go down the road and get one from a friend. You can get them off Facebook. You can have several at a time. They can constantly get out of your yard, attack people. You can allow your child alone in the home with a dog. If you do any of this with a gun, and you've got problems. And this is just ridiculous. These things are weapons. And this is something we've been talking about for a while. I believe a good start to eradicating and controlling this problem, specifically with these mutants attacking children, is to start treating them like what they are, weapons. New Colombia. 59-year-old New Colombia man is jailed on $150,000 cash bail after state police said the man threatened to kill a woman, strangled her, and released a pit bull at troopers during an incident on Tuesday. Jerry Profit is facing felony aggravated assault and strangulation charges. Troopers said they were dispatched to the home for a report of a welfare check, When troopers arrived, they spoke to the alleged victim, who said that Prophet had strangled her, threatened to kill her, and told the woman if she called 911, you won't live, they won't live. The woman said while Prophet was strangling her, yeah, he could have killed her years ago, according to documents. Every time the woman caught her breath, the man would apply more pressure and say, I'm going to kill you. Troopers said when they entered the home to speak with Prophet, they heard a door open and he released a pit bull, and troopers heard him say, sick 'em boy, go get him. But troopers were able to maintain the situation and take Prophet into custody. Troopers said emergency responders were called to the scene and Prophet kicked one of the medical personnel in the head. Prophet was eventually secured to a stretcher and taken to the hospital. He appealed before Middlesbrough District Judge and was placed in the Union County Jail in lieu of $150,000 cash bond. Dogs are weapons. War dogs are a thing. We just covered that the other day. Happy holidays, ban all dogs. It's a oh, Isabel, there you are. I've been worried about you. I seen you on Chef's channel. I was like, oh, where's Isabel been? I was just about to ask Ling, because the last time we didn't see you for a while, her and I were like, where the hell is Isabel? We were worried. So, here's one. I'm going to go right into the article. Raw dog food may be fueling the spread of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. What? More dog problems? You gotta be kidding me. It's like someone should make a YouTube channel or 50 or 100 about all this trouble with dogs. Antibiotic-resistant superbugs, which the WHO is calling one of the top global threats to public health, usually conjure images of hospital settings. But research may point to a less obvious source, the family dog. Researchers warned of an international public health risk after finding antibiotic-resistant bacteria in a range of different types of raw dog food. The trend for feeding dogs raw food may be fueling the spread of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, researchers said in a press release. And this is being released in the European Congress of Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Diseases. Separate research to be presented at the same conference found resistance to a last resort antibiotic may be passing between pet dogs and their owners. I feel like I've heard all this before. Antibiotic-resistant bugs can render minor injuries and common infections potentially deadly. Resistance has grown in recent years because of the overuse of such drugs in humans and farm animals. In the dog food study, a team from the University of Porto analyzed 55 samples of dog food from 25 brands, including 14 raw frozen types, looking for intercourse bacteria. Bacteria can live harmlessly in human and animal intestines and are dangerous in other parts of the body and can be resistant to antibiotics. They found that all of the raw dog food samples contained antibiotic-resistant intercourse, including bacteria resistant to the last resort antibiotic, linezolid. Genetic sequencing revealed that some of these antibiotic-resistant bacteria in the raw dog food were the same kind found in hospital patients in the UK, Germany, and the Netherlands. The close contact of human with dogs and the commercialization of studied brands in different countries poses an international public health risk. European authorities must raise awareness about the potential health risks when feeding raw diets to pets, and the manufacture of dog food, including ingredient selection, hygiene practices, must be reviewed. She added dog owners should wash their hands after even handling pet food or disposing of feces. Sad that they have to tell them that. Hey, when you touch that turd or all that raw meat, you should wash your hands. This is why you shouldn't eat, sit in the car, or be in the home of these fucking psychos. In a separate study, which has not yet been submitted to a medical journal for publication, another team from Portugal tested pet owners and animals from 80 households for bacteria with the MCR1 gene, which provides resistance to the last resort antibiotic colistin. All 126 humans were healthy, while half of the 102 pets sampled had either skin or urinary tract infections. Brah! 4 humans and 8 dogs tested positive for bacteria carrying MCR1, and in 2 households the gene was found in both the dog and its owner. Genetic analysis of the samples suggested that in one of these 2 cases, the gene had been transmitted between pet and owner. His research has said, and also adding that he thought the gene passed from the dog to the human. This raised concerns that pets could be spreading resistance to last resort antibiotics. No shit, guys. The WHO classes antibiotic resistance as one of the greatest public health threats facing humanity. Drug-resistant infections kill an estimated 700,000 people a year globally, and the UN has warned that this could rise to 10 million by 2050 if no action is being taken. That's, there you go. There you go. Gling, exactly. Fuck. You know, hey, Callie, good seeing you. Why are we allowing these things that are making people sick in all of these spots? Oh, don't worry about it, Isabella. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. I was worried about you. Oh, today, dog owners filled our park with poop, Yusuf said. Of course they did. I'm not surprised. A-Star says Lyme disease is passed from dogs. Not a lot of info on that online. They like to cover it up. And if humans would catch Yep. Oh, God. Let me see what this one is. Spokane Police Canine Unit was injured as officers arrest an alleged armed assault suspect. This was November 22nd of 2021. I wanted to cover it. The person who sent it to me is always a huge help around here. A Spokane man is facing multiple felony charges after attempting, to flee the scene of a crash and injuring a police dog. Police said canine unit dog, they put his name, Haywire. You're going to name, okay. Eyes were gouged out by a 39-year-old Brandon O'Keel who was charged by police with first-degree assault, second-degree burglary, vehicle hit and run with injury, resisting arrest, driving with a suspended driver's license, harming a police dog, unlawful possession of a firearm. Damn, this guy is in trouble. The stupid-ass dog is now recovered from his injuries. Charges against Keel stem from a vehicle crash that occurred. He said his vehicle had run a stop sign, struck another vehicle with 3 occupants who suffered minor injuries. He then fled the scene on foot, during which he pointed a gun at a witness who was following him. Spokane police called in on-duty SWAT and canine resources to track and apprehend him, finding him after nearly 20-minute search, finding him hiding in a backyard of bushes. After he refused to comply with the commands to surrender, the canine was dispatched. He used his fingers to gouge out the dog's eyes. Unit stayed in contact until officers were able to take Keel into custody. So this dog was even able to stay on him even while it was having its eyeballs gouged out. So I figured it was worth bringing up. That's some determination. Hey, Bluey, good to see you. Yeah, I tell you. This world, man. This world. Okay, let's see. I've got one from Seth here. I actually have one of his comments I wanted to cover, and since he's here, we'll go ahead and talk about this. And I had said in one of my videos, like, this is like I met the right serial killer yet, you know? And he says, "You mean there's a serial killer out there just for me? You give me hope." And we're both laughing. He says, I got to the end of the video where you said share stories. I just posted this to my Facebook, and I've been revealing my newfound hatred and joining forces with IHD and others. But this was my full coming out, I guess. There's a lot more to the story, and I'll probably get on to sharing all the other crazy details sometime soon. This is a short and sweet version. It works. True story. I got bitten by a Rottweiler that was already on a list for 1 or more bites before getting put down. Reaction from Rott owner. No acknowledgement. Nothing said to me. Dog told Lola go outside. Later, another dog gets bitten. Reaction from Rott owner. Immediate crying. Giving the dog owner $100. Screaming, call a vet immediately. I'm done. It's just Seth, not a dog. Who cares about a worthless sub-dog Seth? That's what he's here for. To be bitten by dogs and have everyone around him not care. And let it happen again and again, and never ever even a no or a sorry. Not that any of that would matter. It's not just a phase. I will crusade for the criminalization and eradication of all dogs from this day forward. Only about 10,000 of us online, nothing compared to the millions of zoophiles practicing and advocating dog love online. So I know it is an uphill battle, but I'm committed now. And no, I didn't have the stupid dog put down, even though I could have. So you can't call me a dog hater. I'm a dog realist. Thank you, Seth. Appreciate it. This stuff helps. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Seth. And welcome to the community. We're all glad to have you. Let's see. I want to go through. I'm going to go back to the top. We're going to cover some of the more recent stuff. And then let's see where we're at. Yeah. And then we'll probably call it a day here once we do our comedy, of course. So let's hop into this story over here. I received this morning from T and a bunch of other stories as well, but this is just one I do remember off the top of my head. And you know, a lot of you guys send me emails I don't get to. It doesn't mean I haven't gotten to them yet. I rate them in manner of recent or try to keep them somewhat related as I brush through like a newscast of multiple things. You'll see there's a theme there. If you haven't seen your email yet, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. A lot of times I don't get to an email. If it's like a personal story, I'll wait, weeks to put it up. It's not as relevant as a story that is taking place and was posted 14 hours ago. So I try to get to those and I blend in some of your emails and stories. The last one Morpheus sent me, I think it took me a month to get to. I will get to it. I just try to place it in relevancy. And as some of you know, some weeks there are a few less attacks than others. Some weeks there are a few less stories about parasitic infections and this and that. So after dogs killed lame deer man, it's an area, family and tribe want actions on dangerous dogs. Okay. Oh, come up, article. Don't screw with me right now. So sometimes they put so many freaking ads in these articles that they just like refuse to come up. So hold on a second. I'm just going to pull it up on the phone. Okay, so it was just there this morning, so it won't be hard to find. It was just this morning. Here it is. I'm sure the phone will pull it up better as it gets there than the laptop does. Yes, comes up right away. Avalee Little Whirlwind was at her lame deer home just afternoon Sunday when her brother George Little Eagle showed up to tell her that Uncle Dookie had been attacked and killed by dogs. I just got to stop and say I love all those names. Rage and grief filled her mind. She grabbed her .22 caliber rifle and headed for the scene of the attack on the south side. She arrived to find two Bureau of Indian Affairs law enforcement officers and a Rosebud County Sheriff's deputy. She got out of her car with the gun case in hand and told the officers who she was and that the dead man in the street was her uncle. Her uncle, Duke Little Whirlwind, 58 years old, lay lifeless under a tarp. His bicycle was nearby. Blood was pooling around him. Avalee took him to the scene quickly, but her mind was also on these dogs. She yelled at the officers with her cased gun in hand. She demanded to know why they had done nothing about the dogs circling in the vicinity around her uncle's lifeless body. I looked around and I saw some dogs kind of running all over, just in and out, wherever. She counted 5 or 6 dogs. I started hollering at the officers. How come you guys didn't do anything about these dogs? The officers shouted at her to stay back and asked what she was doing there. She told them she had come to shoot the dogs that were responsible for killing her uncle. She showed the officers the rifle case and reiterated that she was going to shoot the dogs. From there, things grew tense. The officers told her to get back and leave. Little Whirlwind threw the gun and case into the back seat of her vehicle. Instead of the rifle, she said she went to grab her phone and record the officers. Good move, honey. One of the officers drew his gun and pointed it at her. The Bureau of Indian Affairs spokeswoman, Robin Broyles, responded to a request for comment with a press release reported on earlier this week. In response to specific follow-up questions about Little Whirlwind's account of the events, Broyles said the BIA had nothing further to add, citing the ongoing investigation. I was trying to record them with a phone, and they came up, she said. A separate officer grabbed a taser and pointed at her. She said she didn't resist, and the officers put her in handcuffs. They were really mad. They were pissed at me. Her uncle's son, Curtis Little Whirlwind, and her brother watched the officers handcuff her. The 3 family members kept yelling for the officers to shoot the dogs. The dogs were running around us with blood all over them. She said, I could just see these dogs running around us, and the BIA officers were just standing there. The officers put her in the back of the patrol truck and told her they would charge her with aggravated assault with a weapon. She hadn't even killed anything. Hi, Slime. The officers told Little Whirlwind they understood she was upset and they let her go, but then confiscated her gun. Didn't even use it. The officers did nothing about the dogs, according to Little Whirlwind, something members of the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council have also confirmed. Hours later, when Duke Little Whirlwind's body was removed by the coroner and the officers left the scene, the dogs were left behind to prowl the blood-soaked streets, covered in her uncle's blood. They just ran around there all night, Little Whirlwind said. The next day, the dog's owner took 4 of the dogs to town and shot them. Whirlwind was walking his bicycle to his brother's house at noon on Sunday when the dogs had attacked and killed him. The commotion of the attack brought people out from their home. The BIA law enforcement said they responded to calls of a dog attack, but when they arrived, Duke Little Whirlwind was already dead, and there were no dogs present. And to date, no dogs have been located or captured. Doesn't sound that way to me. Rosebud County Sheriff press release also said that the attack caused his death and added that drugs and alcohol were suspected factors in the case. I don't care if this guy was higher than Giraffe Pussy. He can walk his bike down the road without... No, he can't. No, he can't. He didn't want family members to go through that. The body can't be viewed, so that really hurts. Packs of feral dogs have been roaming lame deer in other communities on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation, according to Tribal Council member Lane Spotted Elk. The problem has been a long-standing battle for tribal leadership. A series of violent dog attacks in 2019 sent area residents to the hospital and forced the council to pass an ordinance that year to confront the problem. The ordinance unauthorized BIA law enforcement to capture and eliminate dangerous dogs, or more simply put, any dog not restrained by leash, fence, or residence that has bitten someone or poses a serious threat to people. But in the more than 2 years since the ordinance has passed, the BIA has taken no action to cull the wild packs or capture the animals. In the beginning, he said the BIA asked for the ordinance an opportunity to take care of the dog problem, but after its passage, they recanted and told the council they could not comply with the ordinance due to federal government governing of the use of their firearms. Spotted Elk said the BIA chief of police told the council any discharge of their service pistols would lead to an internal investigation by the agencies, and the officers do not want to go through that. That the process is slow, and the council have only been able to capture and relocate about 30 animals. When compared with the total number of animals on the reservation, the task of controlling the dog population seems insurmountable. But they want the public to take action by being responsible pet owners. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. Because that's how things go around here. With the snowbirds, they get up early. Horse mauled by 2 dogs in LaBelle neighborhood. This was November 23rd of 2021. Neighbors came in around 9 p.m., heard growling coming from their backyard. Immediately, they noticed a horse named Sassy on the ground and 2 dogs, a white and brown one, standing over top of her. I started trying to hit on the fence, trying to get them to go away. They wouldn't. I ran, got in the car, and started beeping, pulling the car up to the fence. Finally, the 2 dogs took off, but it was too late. The horse was in bad shape, said Alex. It was a cruel way to go. Ronnie Hudson then got a call saying his ex-wife's horse was killed. It was not that easy. It's heartbreaking to see them like that. It was chewed up pretty good. Said Sassy had been in their family for about 10 years. Hudson want people to know that these dogs are out there harming other animals. I believe that people don't think their dogs are dangerous because they're not dangerous to them, Hudson said. They do not need to be roaming around, and we have all kinds of children out here. And that's where they end the article. So much for the horsey. Goodbye, horse. Fuck you. You're not a dog. FF. Fuck Fluffy. Totally agree. Yeah, I was worried it's going to start lagging. So, we're going to read the last article off of my phone so that we don't cause lagging. Pretty common thing. If once a certain hour comes, I can't do shit up here. So, thank you to Chef for this very funny comedy segment for this morning. Gonna finish this up. Hope you guys like my flamingo pajamas. I meant to mention that earlier. Oh, Westminster dog attacked and killed by a bald eagle. All right. So, yeah, I'm about done. We're going to have to wrap it up. Young woman's Pomeranian was attacked and killed by an eagle in the family's lakeside backyard. There was a giant eagle in the tree right there, Mark Smith said, pointing to a tree about 100 yards from his yard. Smith took a picture of the bird in the afternoon. The family, including his soon-to-be daughter-in-law, went to dinner. Amanda Harper had moved to Colorado in September with her 3-year-old Pomeranian. Give me a fucking break. He had 10 more years of his life and now he's gone, they said through their tears. I'm sure it is, guys. We're just going to have to persevere and I'll be out of here soon. Family says they decided to share their story with the hope it could prevent future incidents like this. Okay? I just think it's important if you, especially late at night, are letting your dog out, keep an eye on it. Make sure there's light. I don't want this to happen to anyone else. Just hug your pets a little longer than usual tonight. Fuck these people. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. It's that time where service starts lagging. So, fuck Fluffy. Thank you all. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to every one of you that send me information. My email will be in the description. Please email me with your stories or recent dog attacks or anything else. Breaking news. Animals kill each other. AJ, you're blowing my fucking mind here. So, let's see, what else? Emails. There's the Discord channel. I will have that. AJ started a great Discord app channel thing, and it's bomb, and it's really great, and it's well organized, and everybody's having a good time. There is the Facebook channel for Dogs Are Garbage, aka Ashley. I'll throw that into the description as well. Good job, Asher. Thank you. We need to get you on the Facebook. We'll start sharing the Facebook link as well. That'd be great. Beanie's gonna be busy. Like I said, she's got family. She's out of town with family. Asher, thank you so much. You're so helpful. We really appreciate you. And let's see. Until next time, fuck Fluffy. Protect yourself. Get your steel toe boots, Isabel, and everyone else. And Asher, I truly appreciate all of you. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible. AJ, I will go approve you right now. That's where I'm going. Right this fucking minute. So until next time, dorks, fatherfuckers, motherfuckers, and everybody else, just general dog haters, dog dislikers, dog realists, I appreciate all of you. Okay? So, take care. Send me any information that you guys have. Oh, A-Star, I've got an open house for rent. And it's dog free. All right. Much love. Happy holidays. I'll see you guys a few times this week. I actually don't have any much work while William's on winter break. So until next time, much love, and I'll see you guys soon. End.